Powered and driven by Go Chevrolet. Shout out to our friends online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. Lee Carney, Nick Richard, and the entire crew. Remember, they got used cars that you can select from over at Go Express Auto Sales on Florida Boulevard in Sherwood Forest. Stop in and see them. You can always check out the entire inventory at GoChevrolet.com, GEAUXChevrolet.com. Billy Embody is going to stop by here at 8 a.m. We will talk to him via video. Latest on recruiting from Embody. Obviously, right now, it's a heavy evaluation period. We'll talk to him about what's going on with LSU football, LSU basketball, all types of recruiting news. If you have any questions that you want to jump inside of the chat app and ask Billy, remember you can always do that by easily logging online and just hashtag Ask Billy coming up here at 8 o'clock this morning. Then we will talk to Rohan Davey at 8:15 this morning. Huge day for Ro, huge day for our company at FM Digital Media as we launch another property here. Where my dog's at, Rohan Davey. Stewie's going to be producing. We will have a team around Rohan that will be launching tonight at 6 o'clock this afternoon for his inaugural show. It will launch from this studio, but we're putting together a space for him that he will be originating from over here at FM Digital Media. So we're really looking forward to it. Make sure if you have not already done so, subscribe, check out the YouTube page, the Instagram, the Twitter account.
Shout out to Jamil for all that.
Yes, absolutely. Jamil's doing a great job on the social media. And the entire team around Rohan is really looking forward to tonight's show. He will be talking to Kevin Falk. Falk actually was Rohan's official visit to LSU.
Oh, really?
Kevin Falk was his host.
Aww.
So they'll have some really good stories, and obviously Rohan was drafted by the New England Patriots, where Kevin Falk has his name, his number hung in the Ring of Honor inside of Foxborough, inside of the Gillette Stadium up there, and it'll be cool for those two to just to reminisce on night one of Where My Dog's At with Rohan Davey.
Stewie and I were talking about it yesterday, and he was like, well, there's no ads or anything yet, so, like, what? And I was like, don't you worry.
No, we already got an
Rohan's going to talk.
Yeah.
Like, he will talk 2 hours straight, and you won't even realize the time passed.
Already got an email from somebody who is
Yay.
interested in sponsoring Where My Dog's At. So we anticipate that to be a really popular show, and by football season, that thing should be on fire as Ro will be breaking down and talking a lot of things in the offseason leading up to it. But if you have not already done so, please get over to the social media and fire a like up and a subscribe and get in touch with everybody over at Where My Dog's At, because it's going to be fun, man.
Yeah, subscribe on YouTube, and it's Dogs with a Z, Where My Dog's At.
True Blue Water every morning. If you want to get on the delivery route, remember it's easy to do that. TRUBluewater.com, TRUBluewater.com, TrueBlueWater.com is where you can find them online. Our phone line is brought to you by Metropolitan Health Group, Charles Harvey and Jason Ramazan, Real Doctors, Real Solutions. Billy Embody will be there at 8 a.m. And then at 8:45 this morning, we're going to dive, and I don't know if we're going to dive. We're going to dip our toe into the F1 circuit here as Frank Alessi and his brother, who's up in South Carolina, have been doing a podcast now for a while. They reached out to us and see if we could work together at FM Digital Media. There seems to be an F1 push right now with a Netflix documentary and show that is around the sport. Drive to Win?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Is that what it's called? Drive? I don't think that's it. I got to look it up.
But there is an F1 series on Netflix that is really highlighting the sport right now, and it's growing in popularity. Is it happening in the SEC?
Drive to Survive.
It's not by any means front page news or anything that's a demanding sport that people are looking to follow, but it is starting to see its popularity grow with the access on Netflix and people now kind of knowing and introducing themselves to the drivers. People are kind of knowing each side of who people are, and so we'll see, man. We'll talk to Frank Alessi. They love it. They absolutely love the sport. They come from the family.
He's emotional about it.
Yeah, no, he loves it, man. So he'll be here at 8:45 this morning, and we'll be pushing you towards their podcast. Anybody that is interested in listening more about F1 racing, we will have that property here, a part of FM Digital Media, or at least pushing you towards that platform with Frank Alessi and his in his show. So
yes, it's called Podium Proof F1, and y'all can find it on YouTube, and they have an Instagram, and they actually had an episode last night, and they do a lot of bourbon tasting during it, so it's really cool. They have great personalities.
Yeah, they do.
I think it's going to be great.
They do. They absolutely love it. They are passionate about it. They know it. When they came into the office a couple of times and they were pitching it, you could see just how much they loved. They love the sport, and this is something that we will bring to you coming up here at 8:45 this morning. So make sure you hit that like button, share button, comment button if you don't mind. As we are starting off this Thursday, don't forget tomorrow we will have our Foodie Friday segment, compliments of Iverstein's. Looking forward to that with the cooking couple every Friday here on the Jordy Culotta Show. So make sure you're tuning in for the rest of the week. All right, so LSU baseball has found out when they will play their first game. It'll be coming up today, approximately around 4:30 this afternoon. Maybe. I don't know. Does anybody check the weather over there in Hoover?
I think the rain's over.
Is it?
I did look last night, and I think it's moved out. But, geez.
Yeah, because...
Did you watch, like, A&M get up last night when they called their game? They were all in the bleachers, and they just, like, got up and packed their bags. I'm like, this must be miserable.
Oh, it's miserable, man. I mean, it's just a hurry up and wait type scenario where you're just at the mercy of Mother Nature. And I know in South Louisiana last night, there were parts of it that looked like, I mean, it was the end of the world.
Yes.
I drove to New Orleans and back yesterday, and while crossing over the Pontchartrain, I mean, it was around noon, and I mean, it was as black as night outside, and you had people pulling over, hazard lights. I mean, nobody could see the rain, the wind. It was crazy yesterday, and a lot of that stuff was over in Hoover and that part of the country. So this tournament has just been all out of whack because of the weather, and they're trying to, get everything moving, and LSU still ain't even thrown a pitch at the SEC tournament, but it looks like that it's going to happen this afternoon, and it's scheduled for approximately around 4:30. They will play Kentucky, who's the 12th seed in the tournament. They beat Auburn 3-1 on Wednesday, which was an elimination game here early on in the tournament. So LSU will face off against Kentucky at some point this afternoon. Hopefully they can get this thing in, and it will, hopefully they can move this tournament forward. It's just been, it's been a miserable scenario for everybody around it. I mean, obviously we spoke to Peter Burns yesterday, who was up there covering and anchoring the coverage for the SEC network. And I mean, you could see it. They're going to be in and out of production meetings, or at least they were yesterday, just on, trying to keep up with the weather and decide what they're going to do. And it's got to be very frustrating for not only the fans and everybody around it, but I mean, the players just seem like it is going to, it's just very annoying.
Peter never called us back yesterday. He was going to call us back and show us his ride on that inflatable.
Yeah, he was supposed to go down the slide.
Yes.
A lot of talk from Petey Burns.
Yeah. I really was looking forward to that.
A lot of crawfishing around here. Yeah.
Speaking of, we'll have a little crawfish bowl tomorrow over here, which you're looking forward
tomorrow.
to.
That is tomorrow.
It's Friday, man. This week has flown by.
Yeah, I guess it has.
God,
it's going to
really
be exciting.
has,
outside at noon, no rain.
I did check that. I did see that.
Culotta special again?
Culotta special, bro.
I can't wait.
On a roll.
I'm obsessed with your crawfish now. Like,
absolutely.
I don't really want. We were talking about going to get crawfish the other night at Sammy's, and I was like, I don't know. I just don't really want to. Like,
I want to suck Jordy's head.
Hey!
I did not say that in front of the whole family. I did not say that.
Looking for a raise over there, buddy. Appreciate it. But yes, we will be on the crawfish tomorrow. We have some people coming through here, man, and we're sending off Jack. Have we announced that publicly?
Oh my gosh, did we announce it?
What?
Have we announced that publicly?
Mikey
did.
Mikey gave a little announcement yesterday. Yeah,
but our boy Jack, congratulations to him, man, who has been here nearly since day one. He was a part of the early days of the UDL. Really, if you want to, what's that?
Where did he come from?
He came from LSU Barstool.
Okay, but did he come to you, or did he come in an internship group?
No, he came actually. He wanted to start like right when we began.
Okay. And
he sent an email in, and we were just kind of getting on our feet, and we were trying to get all of the our stuff put in line and put in order. And we told him to reach back out, and he did a couple of weeks later, and we brought him in. And he was one of those interns that just he never left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which was, I mean, young people, interns, if you want to stick, I can tell you one of the early things that I have learned in running a business is, you can create your own opportunities in a business. If you're young, hungry, and determined, and there's an opportunity available. I mean, we've offered internships and spots here throughout the last, year and a half that we've been on. And really, Noah, Jack, Jamil, Bree, look, I mean, they showed back up. You know what I mean? Like they just kept coming back, which Stewie, yeah, definitely Stewie. And that has, Jack was kind of the first that came through here and really took our social media to a totally different stratosphere. Not to another level. Like he took us to a totally different planet with the way that he was managing our social media in the early days of the Jordy Culotta show. I mean, it was really, it really has been one of the key cogs and parts of us growing as fast as we have, was the social media that we started putting out 3 months after we went on the air, and that was all Jack.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all Jack. And since then, we have, seen him kind of grow into helping out our video department and a lot of the editing that Brian Dryden has been doing, who is our in-house video coordinator and video producer, to, teaching new interns and people and personnel coming through here, kind of the ropes of the social media, the standards of what he has really set. And, after he really exploded our show, he kind of helped out Noah in the first couple of days of Noah being on the job. Now Noah is our social media director over here and runs the Jordy Culotta show social media. And Jack was kind of, getting Mikey and his show off the ground, kind of like he did for us. With the social media, and he's done a tremendous job in doing that, as Mikey is nearing 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's consistently putting out content that is seeing a ton of eyeballs and a ton of clicks, and Jack is a key part of that. But he has accepted a job to go back home, or at least back up to the Northeast. He's going to be living in New York City.
New York City.
That's right. He's originally from Connecticut. I think we all knew at some point Jack was going to get home. It was. You can see that he's very passionate about the Celtics. He's very passionate about that part of the world, and it was home for him. And he's got an opportunity to go back up there. He's going to be actually working for Greg Norman in the New York office for the Shark, and it was an opportunity that he couldn't pass up. So we're going to send him off with a little bit of a send-off party tomorrow and a crawfish boil, and
his last crawfish probably for a long time.
I'd imagine for a long time.
We were talking about it yesterday afternoon, and he was like, they've sent me my office hours, and it says 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I was like, every day? And he's like, that's what it says. What am I going to do? And I was like,
welcome to corporate America.
Welcome to the real world, Jackie. Tuck that button up in.
Yeah. Exactly.
Tie those loafers, buddy.
Poor little fella.
Put a tie on.
Yeah. So Jack we'll send off Jack tomorrow, as hopefully we'll have some LSU baseball that we can react to with tomorrow's news as when we get here. So hopefully that the SEC baseball tournament is up and moving tomorrow, because it has just been a disaster as far as getting it off and getting it moving. One story that I did want to touch on before Billy Embody gets here, because we're going to talk a ton of football with Billy, and Billy obviously is going to catch us up on recruiting and what's going on in that world and all the evaluations that's happening. But it seems like Deion Jones, who has been a topic of conversation for a long time over the last couple of months, we're starting to figure out what's going to happen with him, as it looks like he is going to be playing junior college football next year. There were some reports that he had to get academically right, but shout out to Lon Phillips over at LSU Odyssey and Brody Miller of The Athletic were two of the first to report this, that the former four-star wide receiver out of Jackson, Mississippi, Deion Smith, will be heading to junior college this upcoming season. He did enter the transfer portal after last year, and a lot of people, if you recall, thought he was going to go to Ole Miss. There was a lot of smoke around Ole Miss in his recruitment. There was a lot of push from Ole Miss early on in his recruitment, and then after his freshman season, in which he had some high points and he had some really good outings, a little inconsistent, but to be expected from a first-year guy in the SEC. But then he became ineligible almost immediately after the season went final, and he is now going to enter junior college. So he will not be on LSU's team next year, and then he'll be back open for recruitment in a couple of years after he goes through his JUCO stint. But Deion Smith, another talented wideout in that freshman class last year with Jack Besh and Chris Hilton and Brian Thomas. And, of course, Deion Smith was the fourth of that bunch that was signed last season.
You don't see many guys come from Jackson Academy, right? Have you heard of many?
LSU,
like from prep or JA?
Well, I mean, I don't specifically know the high schools that I don't know them that well in Mississippi. But, I mean, that's a part of Mississippi, South Mississippi, where LSU has had some success. But, I mean, look, with Lane Kiffin obviously being at Ole Miss and Mike Leach being at Mississippi State, and a lot of coaches like Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban and Kirby Smart and Billy Napier having an understanding of what type of prospect comes out of that part of the country. There's a lot of people down there recruiting. Yeah. I mean, that's almost an extension of Louisiana. South Mississippi has the reputation of big-time defensive tackles, a lot of skilled guys in that part of the country. So there is a ton of college coaches looking for elbow room at the table on trying to recruit that part of Mississippi. So LSU that was a big win for LSU. If I recall, Deion Smith was the Mississippi Player of the Year.
He was the number one player.
He was the number one player in the state of Mississippi coming out, and then I think he was the state's top. As he was like considered the top player as far as he won the Gatorade Mississippi Player of the Year.
Oh, that's right.
Award. So I mean, that was a big win for LSU. And look, last year he had some good games. What was against was it Central Michigan? Where he had 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. He had a couple of good games as well. He did get injured late in the or middle of the season with the hamstring, and you never really saw him kind of bounce back from that. But now we know. I mean, I know there's been a ton of questions around Deion Smith on what was happening and what was going to go on as far as his eligibility and where he was going to end up. But now we know that he will be at junior college next year.
What junior college did you say?
I don't know
I
don't know if it's been reported.
It'll probably be one of those big Mississippi junior colleges, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Hines or
the one that had the Netflix show.
Yeah.
What junior college had a Netflix show?
Yeah.
I know. I'm blanking on it right now.
Was it
wow.
Was it JCJC?
No, it wasn't JCJC. JCJC was on there, but it wasn't them.
I didn't even know about that. I feel like I can't believe nobody in the chat has said it yet.
Wow.
Man, I can't believe I can't remember the name of the school. All right, remember daily, we are brought to you by GoFlow IV, GEAUX, flowiv.com, goflowiv.com. Got a promotional code over there, got a discount code. All you got to mention is the Jordy Culotta Show, and they'll save you 20% on your initial visit over there. If you're looking for some energy for the weekend, going into the weekend, stop in and see our friends over at GoFlow IV and Spa. They do take walk-ins, but they recommend that you call ahead or book your appointment ahead of time. Online is the easiest way to do that by just logging online at goflowiv.com, GEAUX, flowiv.com. If you suffer from dehydration, if you've been dealing with some sickness, if you're looking to improve your athletic performance, if you've been dealing with skin, hair, beauty care problems, and you're looking for a remedy that you may not have thought of, maybe a little bit outside the box, check out GoFlow IV and see if they can help you out. GEAUX, flowiv.com, goflowiv.com. Make sure you mention that you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show, and it'll save you a little bit for your first visit. East Mississippi Junior College.
EMCC. Yeah. So I haven't watched that Last Chance U, but I meant to. That's in Scuba, Mississippi. That's like really close to Starkville. So yeah,
you gotta watch that, Katie. It
is good.
It's must see TV.
It is good.
Y'all all watched it.
It is good. I haven't watched the entire series, but I've watched
I watched the first season.
And
I think I watched the second season.
I watched the first season. Jamil, did you watch all of it?
I watched all of it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Did you like?
How many? They've had a couple of LSU guys run through there, right? The first season there was I mean, the second season was there. I know that they've had a lot of guys that have been recruited by LSU.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that landed with LSU? No.
The biggest one on there was John Franklin III.
The Auburn quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was during the first season.
Yeah.
And I watched the basketball ones too. Those were pretty good.
So did they move? Is it all at a community college, like
Yeah,
each season?
it was
the different
one in
ones.
Mississippi. Then I remember it was one in like California.
Okay.
The California one might have been basketball.
They did one in Kansas too.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
dude from Florida State, he went to Georgia originally,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
transferred to their JUCO and went to Florida
Okay.
State, and then he was a first round pick.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, that was the one with the crazy coach, Coach Brown. Jason Brown, look him
Okay.
up. He's a nut.
Okay.
East Mississippi's coach was crazy too, but like Jason Brown was like cursing his players out on the sideline, like mother effing them, like just the worst coach you could possibly
Yeah.
have. Like he was the worst.
Oh,
He doesn't have a job anymore.
Really?
Yes. no.
Yeah,
Because of the
that.
show?
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Jeez.
He has his own podcast now, and he's still running off at the mouth. The same
He's
reason.
still dog cussing. at
Yeah,
it.
same reason he doesn't have a job now. But hey, I'm telling you.
Lindsey Scott went through there. JJ Pickett pointed it out, and Pickett's inside of the chat. Lindsey Scott went through there, but that was the season that they moved the show.
Yeah, they won the
They won the national championship.
Yep.
They went undefeated. All right, make sure you hit that like button, share button, comment button. As we said, LSU baseball is going to play this afternoon, coming up at 4:30, approximately 4:30. So hopefully we've got some LSU baseball to react to. That'll be over in Hoover. We mentioned Deion Smith. Looks like he's going to junior college, as that has been a point of emphasis for a lot of fans wanting to know what's going on with Deion Smith. Where's he going to be? We thought that this was a situation. I thought it was a situation kind of like Arik Gilbert did a couple of years ago, where he used LSU to get academically eligible, or at least put himself in a situation where he was out of academic hell and, get a opportunity again to transfer into another school. And I thought that's what Deion Smith was doing here in the second semester for LSU, where he was trying to, get his GPA to a point where he could enter the portal and be a guy that somebody else could pick up. But it looks like he's got more work to do from an academic standpoint, and he'll take the junior college route and see if he can't get back on the field.
Man, what a change to go from an SEC school to a junior college. I cannot imagine.
But he started off his season bad. He got sent home from L.A., so he started.
That's right.
Oh, he did?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Wait, what happened with that? I forgot about that.
So from what I heard, he was throwing popcorn in the movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Being childish. They're gonna send you home for
bro,
that.
you know how
Grow up.
You know how disrespectful you had to be to get sent home from LA.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, the things that they were riding scooters around on game day
Staples
mornings.
Center.
You know what I mean? Like, they were like bouncing, like skipping through curfews and stuff. And if you got sent home from LA on that trip,
Yeah.
because I mean, like,
Coach,
that's a bad mark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's one that a pro scout will probably be like, this is the same trip that Ogeron was parading around town with,
With the blonde?
with the blonde, right? Like,
Serious?
how the hell did you get sent
Screaming
home, man?
students.
Throwing popcorn in the movie theater. All right. Might be able to overlook
Yeah.
that.
That's crazy.
Top Gun Maverick launches today. Katie, I
Yeah.
bet you we're the only two people in this room that know and saw the
Yeah.
original Top Gun.
I'm almost positive y'all are.
Almost.
You,
Oh,
you,
have
do you
not
have any
seen it?
idea?
I'd
imagine
what
that
Top Gun
Jamil
is.
knows.
I'd imagine that Jamil's never even heard of it.
Have you?
Jamil, have you ever heard of the movie Top Gun?
I've heard of it, but I don't know like what it is.
Oh, wow. Jordy, isn't that
Say it again.
weird?
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
It's like widespread panic. Nobody knows who they are either up in
Let me
here.
see.
This is crazy.
At Ole Miss, they
It's,
do.
no, not in this room. I mean,
Yeah.
the young people don't know.
I mean, I know what Top Gun is because I know about Tom Cruise,
Well,
but
yeah,
I've
you
never
have
watched
to.
the movie.
Oh.
But I've heard of
Goose,
it.
Great Balls of Fire, like all the things. Kelly McGillis, oh, that's sexy.
Take My
I
Breath
know what
Away.
that is
Woo,
now.
that
Wow.
song and that scene.
I'm gonna have to.
You don't even see anything, but it's.
Gonna have to go
It
home
was
and
a good
just
scene.
watch it.
I mean, so the
You do have to watch it.
I guess the not the remake. Would this be the?
I think it's maybe a continuation.
A sequel.
I don't. Yeah, I guess they
I
would be the
guess.
sequel.
They
Top
can't
Gun
remake
Maverick
it.
comes out today in movie theaters, and I'd imagine for people that are around my age, from, like 37 to 45. This is a movie that, I could say every line of it.
Yeah.
I could verbatim say every line of Top Gun for a point in my life. I may not be able to do it now, but I kind of feel like it would be like riding a bike.
We could put the movie on.
Where
and
if
then
you
we could
put the
start doing
movie
it,
on
yeah.
and like once you start getting it moving, and it was like for a generation. It was
The soundtrack.
the soundtrack was incredible.
Danger Zone.
Who was that? Kenny Loggins?
Yes.
Was it Kenny Loggins?
Wow.
Yes.
And the fact that they've remade that movie and it's coming out today, I'm telling you, I'm kind of like,
They're so embarrassed.
fired up.
Going over
Yeah, like
secondhand
it's
embarrassment over here.
it's unbelievable for the amount of people that
welcome.
don't know about that movie.
It is unbelievable.
that it's coming out today.
Y'all need to go and
See,
watch
I knew it was
and then
coming
go
out,
see the new one.
but like I didn't.
Yeah, I would-
never
I would-
watched the first one.
I would
Yeah,
advise
watch
you
the
to watch the
original.
first one before if you were going to watch the new one, if you have
Mm-hmm.
any interest in
do wanna
watching
watch
the
it.
new one, I would watch the old one first.
And you don't think, Jamil, you're going to be like, what? It's like pilots. It's
Now that I
fine.
look at the pictures, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
I've probably seen. I just don't remember seeing
Yeah.
it.
It's interesting. It's fun. It's a fun movie. I love it.
Who is who's the commander with the mustache in the first one? He's such a great
What
actor.
is his name?
He's everywhere.
Oh, man. I got to
Um,
look it up.
God, he's such a great actor.
I love Tom Cruise as an actor though.
Yeah.
He
Big
was
Tom Cruise
so
fan.
great in that movie, too.
And I
so
think that
hot.
this was probably
God.
Tom Cruise's most identifiable role
Tom
for
Skerritt.
probably 25 years.
Absolutely.
Until
Maybe
he
even like
made-
to like Mission
I was
Impossible.
gonna
Yes.
say that's the movies I've watched. I've watched probably all of them.
Yes.
Put it on the poll. What do you recognize Tom Cruise in? What movie do you think of when you say Tom Cruise? What's the first movie that pops up? For me, it was Top Gun. Now it would be
Yeah.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah. And then there were
Um,
some before, like mine in your time. Like, what was the one in his underwear? Where you like,
Yes.
Risky Business.
yes,
Risky
yeah.
Business.
So that was like
Risky Business.
before us, but that was that's recognizable too.
Yeah.
yeah,
But Top Gun
Gun.
took him to a totally different
did.
level. Like, he was a different act. He was the biggest movie star on the planet
Yeah,
after
he
that was
was.
made.
He was.
Now, he has lasted in Hollywood incredibly, like by being an A-lister since then.
Mm-hmm.
Because, if you look at the rest of that cast, it was, there was a lot of
Val
Anthony
Kilmer.
Edwards.
Yes, Anthony Edwards.
is in there.
Goose.
Val Kilmer is in there.
Who was Val Kilmer? Iceman, right?
Yeah, Iceman.
Oh, he was so cool.
The Tom Skerritt, who we
Yeah, that
mentioned,
was the mustache man.
he's great and has been.
Mm-hmm.
And then but if you think of a lot of the people around that movie, you never heard from a lot of those people ever again. Like Kelly McGillis
I know.
was.
What happened to her?
I thought she was going to be like the next Hollywood starlet
I
after
did
that.
too, but she wasn't.
She's she went through a period where she just totally let herself go.
Yeah, she's not very cute anymore.
Um,
But she was very sexy in Top Gun.
Yes,
right?
she
You
crushed
thought
that
she
role. It was a
really
lot
going.
like what's her name on Dirty Dancing?
Yeah, Jennifer Grey. Yeah.
Yeah, you never really saw her again
Right.
after that.
I know. She got the nose job and thought that was gonna do more for her, and it didn't.
Meg Ryan was in Top Gun.
She was.
She's Goose's wife. I think the best
forgot
scene
about
of the
that.
best scene for her in that movie is in the bar at the piano.
Yes, you've lost that love and feeling.
No, when they're
Oh.
singing "Great Balls of Fire."
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't
and,
they do
and
that
Maverick
too, though?
and McGillis are riding on the motorcycle
Yes.
through that leads into
They go
the
back
scene.
to her house,
That
drink
leads
wine,
into the scene. Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
On the
wow.
screened-in porch, there's a breeze
Ugh.
blowing.
Ugh.
It's a great scene.
I think the best scene for McGillis and Tom
Jamila's
Cruise.
like, what?
The
Who
best
are y'all?
to me, the best scene for Tom Cruise and McGillis in that movie is in the elevator.
Yes, the argument.
No, not the argument. When he kind of starts to, he's trying to he's been flirting with her.
Yeah,
He
she
wants
hates
her.
him.
He wants her to pick up. I like you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And for whatever reason, she won't get it, and they go into the elevator, and the next thing you know, they're the last two on it, and
Yes.
he pins her up against the door.
Yes,
and she
that's
thinks
right.
He's gonna kiss her, and he never does,
Yes.
and she falls completely in
Is
love
that
with him.
before she realizes, or is that before he realizes she's his instructor, or after?
Oh, after.
Okay, that
After.
was awesome when
After.
that happened.
After.
When he realized.
Because
that
I was
his
inverted.
instructor.
Bullshit.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by Johnson and Spillers, online at johnsonspillers.com. find our guys out there in Gonzales or in Baton Rouge. 2 locations is where you can find them. Need anything? General dentistry, pediatric dentistry. If you need a tooth implant, get in touch with Johnson Spillers. Johnson Spillers Dentistry located in Gonzales and in Baton Rouge. Stop in and meet the team today. They do all the services, man. They include Botox over there. JohnsonSpillers.com. Whether it is on in Gonzales on Prepara Avenue or on Perkins Road right here in Baton Rouge, they can help you out with getting your teeth right today. I am a proud Johnson Spillers patient that they have taken care of and speak very highly every time I talk about Johnson Spillers. Stop in and see them today and tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Lane Kiffin was speaking yesterday to Sports Illustrated and said that Nick Saban is never going to retire. I don't think this surprises anybody that is reading this for the first time, as Kiffin was getting ready for SEC meetings next week, which I can't tell you how much I'm waiting to hear about the news that comes out. And it may not be anything. I'd imagine with Sankey being down there that he's going to have a lot of this thing, a lot of the drama and some of the talk show stuff that we hope comes out of it.
Let's go down there and stir it up.
We should.
I'd love to.
is not going to exist because of Sankey's presence and what he expects and kind of the message that he put out earlier this week. And look, he had to put the cap on Lane Kiffin last week on a couple of interviews because he wanted to jump into the fight with Jimbo and Saban and really start to kind of poke and prod and see if he can't make his way into that thing. But now he is.
Do you think Lane just wants to get in just to get in,
Hell
just to
yes.
have some fun? Like,
Yes.
because he was tweeting the whole time, like
Yeah.
the whole
Oh,
time,
yes.
and he wanted to do a press conference just like Jimbo did,
No
like,
doubt.
just to talk,
just to do it. Well, I mean, Lane is in a spot in the SEC where he's got to get attention and coverage whenever he can, and he knows that. And look, it's if you are anti-Lane Kiffin or if you have a bad feeling about Kiffin or he rubs you the wrong way, that is not it's not the ideal job for him because he's going to be loud and he's going to be in your face and he's playing at a disadvantage because he's not Alabama, LSU, or Georgia. Mm-hmm. He's not the primary attraction in their state or to 5-star recruits. I mean, he's really having to recruit his ass off to get any type of high-end player to Oxford, Mississippi. And he's got to make sure he is there at all costs whenever he can. So if there is ever an opportunity to kind of break in and say, yo, look down here at Oxford, we're over here at Ole Miss doing this stuff, he's always going to take advantage of it. And last week he saw the circus pull to town and he wanted to ride all the rides. You know what I mean? Like he wanted to explore and jump on every single ride and tell you all about it. And Sankey said, you sit over there, you be quiet until all of this stuff kind of quells and moves over. But yeah, I think that's what a lot of the draw to Lane is, you know what I mean? Because he's very polarized. He's a love or hate guy.
You love to hate him.
Yeah, or you hate to love him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's both ways. I mean, he's just someone that is going to constantly crawl at you. I mean, like he's going to constantly be. I mean, I can't imagine what he did to Nick Saban when he worked for him.
Oh my God.
Like when in that period where Saban knew he had to have Lane, where Saban, Lane kind of had Saban by the balls for a year and a half, 2 years, while Saban was learning the spread offense and kind of adapting his recruiting styles of defensive guys. I mean, you saw him get away from those big, heavy linebackers like he'd always, the Dante Hightowers of the world, because he knew he had to run these guys in and off the field and had to sub them in and out. He changed his recruiting strategy to almost fit his offensive approach. And a lot of that is credit to Lane. I mean, when he brought Lane in, Lane had that personality where he wasn't intimidated by Saban and kind of told him, this is what you need to do. Mm-hmm. And I'm the guy that can do it for you. And, Lane was that first hire where you're like, oh, wow, Saban is willing to step outside of his comfort zone, outside of the box, and bring somebody in But I can't imagine during that year and a half when Lane's implementing the spread and telling him who to recruit and landing some of these recruits and bringing guys in and winning with guys like who was the running back?
Kenyon Drake.
No, the running back that they made the quarterback.
Blake
Sims.
Blake Sims, yeah.
You know, I mean, while he's doing that type of stuff, he's probably looking over at Saban, like, you're about to win the Natty with Jacob Coker, buddy.
Did
you know what I mean?
Daniel Tosh do Lane Kiffin.
Oh, my God.
Like,
Kimson's,
when he worked there still.
Kiffin's Crimson Corner?
Oh, God, that was so
I
great.
mean,
remember when Lane came to watch the Episcopal Newman game to watch Arch this past season? And
Yeah.
I don't like Lane. Everyone knows that. And then I had a dream about him that night. And then the next morning, I was like, I think I'm in love with Lane Kiffin, y'all. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, it was a really real dream.
it was a vivid dream.
It was
huh?
very vivid.
I
thought
love
I
Lane
needed
Kiffin.
to do something about it.
Let the record show. I
I know you
absolutely love Lane Kiffin. I love his style. I think
I love his style too.
I love his
picking
style.
up recruits in the Rolls Royce.
Absolutely, man.
Love it.
Absolutely. And I fell in love with him when he was at Alabama because of his
really?
because of the way that he was with Saban.
Yeah.
You know, and I also believe that behind closed doors, Saban would tell him, "I'm gonna jump your ass today in front of 100,000 people and over 1 million watching on television, and you're gonna have to take it." And Lane was probably like, "Is that it?
All right.
Is that all you need from me?" You know what I mean? Now, when he started floating around the boosters, I think that's where that's where Saban started to say, you know what, this is too much.
Yeah. See you
Right?
later,
Like,
Lane.
I mean, you're replaceable.
Yeah,
I'll fire you the
it
week.
got
I'll
weird,
fire
right?
you the week of the national championship game. Don't tempt me.
We'll leave you.
Yeah,
we,
right.
We will leave.
We'll
you.
leave you at the stadium.
Yeah, stuff got squirrely.
Yeah, it got weird.
Yeah. They left him at the stadium.
They left him at the stadium after the first Clemson win,
Yeah.
and then he fired him the week of the Natty
Yes.
the next year, where he
yeah,
gave
yeah.
play calling duties to was it Daboll?
Brian Daboll, yeah.
Yeah, who turned out to be a stud.
Yeah.
Where is he?
He's the head coach of the New York Giants now.
Jeez. Really?
Yeah.
Nick Saban coaching
Yeah, I
tree.
didn't know that. Yeah.
And he was the coordinator that is most complimented or given the most credit for Josh Allen. Because he's been calling the Buffalo Bills
yeah, he
plays
did. Yeah,
for
he
the
was
last 3
offensive
years.
coordinator.
That's where he went. He went from Alabama to Buffalo. And then he took from Buffalo, he took the Giants job.
Have we had Lane on? We had him on one time. I think I was out of town. He called in, right?
Maybe not this show specifically, but we've had him on as before.
When we were in the UDL.
I mean, he's great to respond to a text to set up the interview, but as soon as you're like, all right, we're ready, he'll go radio silent.
Yeah, sorry.
I do know that it really pissed off Ogeron when he would come on the radio with us in this market because, you would figure it. A lot of SEC coaches are very territorial.
Yeah, but
right, and when
I think O's territorial situation is more of him being like a little
insecure.
Yeah, insecure about Lane and Lane being a better coach than
You
him.
think?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for the last year and a half that Ogeron was kicking it in the mud down here, I mean, everybody was saying that Lane was going to be next. I mean, there was a lot. I thought for a while that Lane was going to be the top.
You did.
I did. I thought that he would be the
You were
top
pushing
choice.
it.
I mean, I never even thought about Brian Kelly, to be
neither.
honest. I
No,
mean,
no
I really
one did.
didn't.
It was like elite
I
Brian Kelly.
thought it was Jimbo. Remember, I stayed on that train for months.
I don't
wasn't on
think
the
that
Jimbo
they.
train,
I don't think that they offered Jimbo. I really don't. I think that the Jimbo stuff was an easy go-to because of Scott Woodward's relationship with him and the comfort level there. Did he call? He might have called him, and just judged his interest just to see, hey man, it's open again. Would you take it now?
Maybe Rohan can get it out of him.
Rose got the story for sure.
Yeah, I'd love to know.
But I mean, if you remember, immediately when the LSU job opened up, Jimbo Fisher got the extension. So maybe that was kind of a little behind the scenes, Woodward saying, hey, old buddy, you know what I mean? You want more job security?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Settle you down real quick.
yeah, I mean, I can float this thing out there real quick that we're calling you. But it seems like that Lincoln Riley, do we believe Lincoln Riley was real?
I don't think.
I mean, they
Lincoln
say that the
Riley was
plane
real.
didn't land. They flew around.
Didn't we have a picture of him like walking into the facility, or so we thought?
No, we had a tracked plane from Baton Rouge to
Well, yeah, we called the
Norman,
pilot.
Oklahoma, and when we called the pilot, he was picking up his daughter for
Allegedly.
For
But
school.
we had a
Allegedly.
photo. It was
Yeah.
like a blurry photo, but it was like the hat. It was like something
Yeah.
about it, and we thought that might be him.
I don't think Lincoln Riley wants that SEC smoke though. I think that was the big thing behind him not coming to LSU. He don't want that smoke. He ran to LA.
No,
he
he wants nothing to do with the SEC.
Nothing at all.
He wants nothing to do with the SEC. He doesn't want to be down here where, it's just boiling hot, and everybody is. And I'm not talking about the temperature. I'm talking about just the state of the football. I'm just talking about the state of the football program.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the state of the football communities. It's just.
It would have been interesting.
It's a boiler room, at 365 days a year.
And he couldn't handle OU. Like he couldn't handle the problems that they had at OU with the quarterback situation and all of that. So you think he could handle?
No.
You think he could handle a week 1 game at UCLA?
No.
LSU fans would have ate him alive.
Yeah.
Like he had no chance over here.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Remember, coming up in the second hour, we will talk to Billy Embody from from On3 Recruiting. We'll stop in and catch us up on the latest on recruiting with what's going on with LSU. We will also talk to Rohan Davey this morning, who is launching his new show, Where My Dog's At. That'll be 6 o'clock this afternoon. 6 to 8 o'clock is where you can listen to that right here on FM Digital Media. He's already got his YouTube channel up. Make sure that you are subscribed there. Hit him on social media, on Instagram, Twitter, and all of the social media platforms. We will also talk to Frank Alessi, who is going to come in talking a little podcasting about F1, Formula One racing, which seems to be a big topic right now. A lot of people starting to kind of pay attention to this sport, so we'll see if it fits in with our programming, as Frank Alessi is going to be here talking about Intro to the Podium Proof, F1, as he'll be here at 8:45 this morning. We'll talk more about that coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU, bluewater.com. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard.
Hey y'all, it's Mikey from Mic'd Up. Catch us live every Monday and Wednesday, 11 to 1. Talk gambling, talk sports, have a ton of guests in here, get a little perspective from the athlete side of it. We got Lloyd in the house, Jay Mitch is in here a lot of the time. It's a fun show, great show. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends. If you don't like it, it's fine. Make fun of us, it's okay. Just get us out there, share us out there. We're having fun, we want to share our fun with you. Like I said, Mic'd Up, brought to you by Sterling Automotive. Every Monday through Wednesday, 11 to 1. Catch us live on YouTube, baby. See y'all.
Southern Eye Center is located at 6859 Jefferson Highway right here in Baton Rouge, has been serving your eyes for over 40 years in the capital region. They offer friendly service in a helpful environment with the highest level of personal care to manage your eye health and vision needs. If you want more information, log online to southerneyecenters.com. That is southerneyecenters.com. Stop in and check out their beautiful office located on Jefferson Highway right here in the capital city. And remember, each time you walk in there and you mention the Jordy Culotta Show, Dr. Ann Shaw and Southern Eye Centers will take 25% off of their fantastic selection of sunglasses. All you got to do is mention the Jordy Culotta Show. Check them out, southerneyecenters.com, and located at 6859 Jefferson Highway. Do you have questions about your finances? Are you looking for recommendations from a skilled financial advisor? Get in touch with our friend Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones. You can find him easily by logging online and shooting him an email at daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. That is daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Whether it is help with your 401k or just fiscal advice heading into the new season, get in touch with Daniel today. Best way to do it? Email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. He's our experienced financial advisor. Let him be yours, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Saw some video of Jalen Reed yesterday, 6'10" power forward, signed with LSU basketball, coming in on Matt McMahon's first recruiting class. This guy has an NBA body right now. I mean, this is a high-end prospect. I don't know if you've seen this. I'm following Julius V at Julius V Elite Zero, and he put out a video yesterday on Jalen Reed. Jamil, if you can you you know what? I got this.
He's the freshman coming in?
I'm gonna retweet this. Yep, I'm gonna retweet
so
this
cute.
from the Jordy Culotta Show social media. And if you're looking for it, just head over to the Jordy Culotta Show Twitter account. I just retweeted it there, and you can take a look at this 6'10" NBA. What looks like, I mean, physically ready to go, man. In some good-looking video of the freshmen coming into LSU that'll be here pretty soon. I believe all the freshmen should be on campus right around June 1st with summer school starting. But really good sign for Matt McMahon and the crew as they're welcoming in their first class and getting to work here on this first team for LSU coming into McMahon's first season. So
he's from California.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah.
He's so cute. I love his hair.
Big get for Matt McMahon and the staff.
Yeah.
Yesterday was down in New Orleans. Shout out to our crew over there at Men's Total Health. Hopefully you have stopped in over at Men's Total Health if you're suffering from low testosterone, if you've lost some energy, if your sex drive's gone, if your sleep is driving you crazy, if you're losing energy at work, if you can't keep your muscle mass on, if you're suffering from any of these, you can get over to Men's Total Health in New Orleans. Go see Mike Roach and the crew over there and tell them that you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. But they'll take care of you, man. Fast, friendly, very convenient. Drive in, get out. They will help you out as well. But look, if you're looking for next Wednesday when I'm going down there, they're going to run a full physical on me. You can go in there, get a physical. They can do any type of blood work that you may be looking to get run. If you're looking for, they've caught cancer in some of the patients that have been down there, some early signs of cancer.
Wow.
So if it's not just to help you with getting back up and getting you some energy with the hormone shots and the testosterone replacement, but they can also help you out with a physical, like I said, blood work, anything that you may be looking for. Go see our friends over at Men's Total Health. Shop them online at menstotalhealth.net, menstotalhealth.net.
You can do everything online, right? Won't
Yeah.
they even ship you your medications if you end up get whatever vitamins and all that?
They will.
That's awesome. That's
You can
convenient.
actually self-administer the shots If you want, I'm good. I'll make the
don't
drive.
Yeah.
It's all good. But I mean, if you're into that stuff and that stuff doesn't freak you out, I mean, it's very convenient.
Would you rather give a shot to yourself or someone else, or could you? What would
I
be
could
the
not.
easiest? You couldn't do either.
I couldn't do it. No, I couldn't.
But if you had
Oh,
to.
no, somebody else to give me the shot. I can't.
No. Could you give a shot to me? And could you give yourself a shot?
I could not give myself
Okay, but possibly you could do me. Still no, maybe a no. You couldn't either. That freaks you out.
I mean,
I'm good on that.
I gotta put my arm
I would just
out.
hate to
Good on
jab
Here's
the
my
wrong
vein.
spot.
Yeah, that's
Can you?
my
With a
whole
shot-
thing.
with, like,
I
a little
mean, I'm
shot needle?
sure
Like,
you
what would
can.
happen?
I mean, hit a nerve, hit something like, I don't know.
I don't know either.
You know, I mean, I guess that's why they do it in the ass and the shoulder, because you don't have as much stuff to,
Ooh, the
Hit.
shoulder. You get it in the shoulder?
They-
Oh,
they-
like up here on the arm.
yeah, like up in the arm.
Okay.
But I mean, like the ones at
Go flow.
Men's Total Health
They
put
get
it
it every
on
time.
your, they do it. Well, I mean,
Right in the vein.
they're experienced nurses.
Yeah, they are.
Broke my GoFlow virginity last week.
That's
Yeah.
right, you did.
Good experience. Great experience.
Did you
know?
feel good after?
Yeah, I felt great. I drank like a. Yeah. Not even gonna
Yeah.
talk
That's
about it.
makes a
that's
difference.
good.
Yeah, like
That's kind of the purpose
just
of it.
Yeah.
peed all day.
Yeah.
Like all day.
I know, you do.
So-
And did you get cold? Like, I started
yeah, I was
freezing,
really
like,
cold.
halfway through the drip.
It was like wow,
Uh-huh.
and like that little taste.
Yeah, right? It
Yeah.
like drains down the back of my throat. I taste it the whole time I'm doing it. It's weird.
Yeah.
Minerals.
All right, we're going to talk to Billy Embody coming up here in a couple of minutes. NBA playoffs have been terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, the conference finals have been pathetic, man. Last night, Celtics roll up the Boston Celtics. The Celtics roll up the Heat, 93-80, 13-point win for the Celtics, as Jaylen Brown scored 25 and Tatum had 22 for Boston. But Miami has just gone. They've gone into the freezer as far as being able to shoot it. They started the last two games 1 for 28 behind the arc. I mean, and that was really kind of their bread and butter, was their shooting, their ability to shoot and knock down shots. Last night, Max Strus was 0 for 9. Kyle Lowry was 0 for 6. The starting guards, as we said, have combined for 1 of 28 over the last 2 games. 0 for 15 on Wednesday night was the worst playoff showing for a starting backcourt since the NBA began tracking starters
Jeez.
in 1970. The Heat's 18 points as a collective starting unit the last time out was the same stat, the lowest since the NBA had been collecting that data since the early 70s. I mean, this has been the most inopportune time for Miami to fall into the freezer. I mean, they just can't find their shot. They can't find and knock down open shots right now, and it is plaguing them. Boston, defensively, is way too good of a team to be in combination of not making shots and with their combination of the defense. So
Here's a fun fact, though. The Heat have the highest win percentage in playoff history among all NBA teams when trailing a series 3-2.
we'll see. Eric Spoelstra is as good at his job as anybody is out there. He's got his challenges now. We'll see if Jimmy Butler and the crew can bounce back here, as Boston is 1 game away from an NBA Finals. Golden State and Dallas will play tonight in San Francisco. The Warriors have a chance to close that series out as they were up 3-1. All of those games, pretty much every one of those games, have been blowouts as well. All right, let's welcome into the conversation our friend from On3.com who covers recruiting over there, freshly married. Congratulations
Freshly married.
You just
to
went
Billy
off.
Embody,
I don't know.
as I think I just scared him off by calling him publicly
Trying to
married for the
landscape,
first
trying to
time.
landscape.
But he's getting set up over there, and we're going to talk a ton to him about what's going on with LSU recruiting right now with all the evaluations going on. What was his reaction to Eli Holstein committing to Alabama, as we welcome in On Three's recruiting, Billy Embody here to the Jordy Culotta Show, as we welcome him back to the conversation here on this Thursday morning. Bill, good morning. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
Doing good, man. First off, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much.
When did you get married?
It's Saturday.
Wow.
Saturday.
Yeah.
So
Great.
it's we're doing a delayed honeymoon. We're pretty depressed that it's over, but we had a blast. We had an incredible time.
Where are you traveling? Where's the honeymoon?
We are going to go to Barcelona. We're going to do a little bit of France,
Nice.
Ibiza, Majorca. Yeah, we're going
Damn,
over
Billy.
across the pond.
That's awesome.
Why didn't you marry me?
Seriously, bro.
All right, make sure you're following Billy right now on Twitter at Billy Embody and on 3. Billy, Eli Holstein committed to Alabama earlier this week. Were you surprised by that?
You there?
Ooh, we lost Billy. Billy, can you hear me?
There.
Oh, we got him. We got
Yeah,
him.
we got him.
We got him. We got him. We got
I
him.
think he's getting like a message or maybe a call.
All right, hold tight. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Billy Embody here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, all right.
Been cutting off times.
Okay,
Yeah.
you good?
So, yeah,
All
we'll
right.
see.
All right, come right back.
Good.
All right, welcome back. Billy Embody, fresh-faced Billy, freshly married Billy. Eli Holstein committed to Alabama earlier this week. What was your reaction to that?
My reaction was surprised and not surprised. I mean, for a while we had heard about how Eli Holstein was probably going to end up at Alabama. Just the Tide had built a big lead, and then he visits LSU on back-to-back days. You kind of think there's a chance that LSU is going to make a move and at least be in it, and he might extend his decision. But instead, just a few days later, he commits to the Tide. So for me, that tells me that it had been done for a while, and that, honestly, he was either checking one last final box or just giving Joe Sloan, who recruited his brother, kind of a little bit of a courtesy visit. And that's, no disrespect to the staff at LSU for the job they tried to do to get in there. But yeah, for me, it just seemed like he had his mind made up, and he saw what he needed to see to kind of confirm that. And so he just let the decision fly.
Explain Holstein's recruitment, if you don't mind, just kind of how it's tracked over the last couple of years, because he had an explosive junior season, 15-0 state champs, big numbers, and then it seems like this spring he really started to see his star really start to shine, and now he is goes from a Texas A&M commit to an Alabama commit. What have you made of his recruitment up to this point?
Yeah, I think for Eli Holstein, I mean, he was somebody that was at St. Thomas More behind Walker Howard, needed to go get some playing time, so went out and got that at Zachary and obviously proved himself. In the high school ranks, you got to go play to get offers and to get recruited. And now he could have seen his star rise as a guy going into his first year as a starter, at St. Thomas More as if he had stayed there. But in reality, he needed to go play. So he leaves STM for Zachary. It paid off. And then he went out this spring in the Elite 11, had a terrific performance. He was the most athletic quarterback in the Elite 11. He broke the Elite 11 Spark testing record. So that just speaks to his verified athleticism, which is always good to see. And, I think for Eli Holstein, he's kind of, he's most certainly on the rise. And the thing about him is this going to be his second year as starting quarterback. So really he's taking off. And I think he's got a chance to be a top 100 type prospect and finish, right there among the top quarterbacks in the country. I think his recruitment reflects that. And, Alabama had him circled as a quarterback that they really honestly wanted for a long, long time. He was even there for LSU Alabama in November. He made a couple visits to Alabama this past fall, and they recruited him and just kind of told him be patient and, things are going to pan out. And I think we saw that.
What does that do for LSU recruiting that position?
Honestly, not too much in my opinion, because yes, they made their press, they got in there, they got a visit, but this is a position that has been circled around. Dante Moore, 5-star quarterback, Jaden Rashada, top 100 prospect out of California, Arch Manning, of course, and they really have kind of circled those guys as the ones that they've been recruiting really, really hard. And Eli Holstein kind of entered the picture there kind of late, and then you've got Ricky Collins in Baton Rouge, a 4-star quarterback. So I don't think it changes too much. It looked like it was potentially going to change things, but it honestly gives them a little bit more clarity more quickly than probably they were anticipating once that visit happened.
Billy, we saw Tackett Curtis make his way down to Baton Rouge from Manny High School last week. He's considered to be a top 5 linebacker in the country and a top 5 recruit in the state. He mentioned that the old staff had not really built a relationship in the inroad, and this staff is trying to make up ground. Where does LSU stand with him?
Yeah, this is a part of what I'm really impressed with Brian Kelly's staff is how many they end up signing out of Louisiana. But one thing they are doing is they are going out and visiting the high schools, as much as they can. And that's kind of a little bit of the difference. Ed Ogeron and his staff kind of focused on Baton Rouge, focused on New Orleans, and recruited high schools in spots when they needed. But this staff is really doing a good job of turning over, the high schools in Louisiana, and they've made the trips to Manny that they're allowed, and that's allowed Tackett Curtis to feel good enough about how bad LSU wants him to make that trip down. And by all accounts, it went really well. This is a prospect, like you said, top 5 linebacker in the country, somebody that's wanted by Wisconsin, USC, Ohio State, and he visits LSU, and lo and behold, Ohio State defensive coordinator Jim Knowles shows up at Manny, I think yesterday, maybe the day before, but certainly trying to get in front of Manny High School again and try to slow the momentum that LSU might have built through that visit by checking on one of his longtime top targets in Tackett Curtis. And I think the Buckeyes are still probably the team to beat here. Jim Knowles has really wanted Tackett for a long time, but LSU has certainly made things interesting. He'll visit Ohio State, USC, and Wisconsin this summer for official visits, and we'll see if LSU can snag one. I don't know if he might feel like he might not need to this summer. With him being an in-state kid, he could pop down to Baton Rouge, watch camp, watch Matt House work, or do a bunch of different things, maybe to get another look at the program. But by all accounts, it went pretty well. We'll see if they can overcome some of these programs that have really been on them a long, long time.
How do you feel about LSU in the sense of recruiting Louisiana this cycle? I think all in all, it was probably, maybe like a B- C+ effort for what they had last year. I know there was a ton of transition from coaching staff, so they were behind the 8 ball. But as far as the state's talent was concerned, they didn't capitalize on the class of 2022 with what was happening there. The class of 23 seems not as talented, but it's not far off, right? I mean, this is a pretty talented group. Where does LSU stand as far as being able to dominate the state in this cycle?
Yeah, I think this is an interesting cycle. Like you said, I think you look at the state's talent, and there's probably not as many high-end guys in the state this year, or guys that you say, well, that guy is a for sure type of player. You look at Shelton Sampson. I think they've done a really good job recruiting him and are right in the mix there to land him. He's a must land. After last year's wide receiver haul, and he's right down the street from you in Baton Rouge. And then you look at some of these prospects that are around the state, especially at defensive back. Jordan Matthews, Curly Reed, Kylan Jackson. They all kind of have, or at least entered the spring with questions about their game. Jordan Matthews, it was his speed. He answered those. He's somebody that I could see LSU turning up the heat on. Curly Reed coming off that ACL. How will he respond? He's going to camp for LSU is what it seems like, and they'll kind of go from there. And then Kylan Jackson, I heard, has some things to get in order in terms of academics. And so that kind of shakes up your DB board a little bit, and you got to go a little bit national. And for Robert Steeples especially, he's got guys that he's got relationships with, in St. Louis, like Christian Gray, or, he's been on from the beginning, in Jeremiah Hughes and guys like that, they're trying to get in there. And there's guys that are national, like JV and Toviano, that just included LSU in his top schools, that any LSU staff would take, honestly, over any of the guys that are in state. So they're trying to do their best, I think, to navigate that evaluation process. I think the DB room is a good example of that. They have a few offensive linemen in the state that they could certainly sign. Lance Hurd out of Neville, I just saw him at LSU. It's in a good spot for him, and he's one of the best in the country. Tyree Adams out of New Orleans, somebody that's going to take his time, it seems like. LSU's right in the mix there. There are a lot of ways this in-state class can go. And in Baton Rouge, it looks like they're slowly making their way in to land a lot of these guys like Shelton Sampson, Jaden Osbury, Caleb Jackson, guys like that. But I would say the state, probably outside of a couple, has some prospects that are a little bit of a, you need to evaluate them, make sure you've really checked your boxes with them before going all in. And I think the staff overall with this recruiting class has kind of done that, whether it be national players or local guys. And that's a good thing. The class is kind of building. We'll see where it stands after the 4th of July. I think that could be a big day for LSU's classes as far as building it goes. And who knows, maybe some of these guys pop over the summer once they get on campus for camps and things like that.
One of the latest national guys that LSU seems to be hot on is Jackson Howard, an edge rusher and a tight end out of Minneapolis. You have a piece up on Howard right now over at On 3. Where does LSU stand on Howard, and how have you seen them extend their reach nationally throughout this class?
Yeah, I really like where LSU stands with Jackson Howard, the number 1 player in Minnesota. He has had a long-standing relationship with Jamar Cain, who's recruiting him to play that edge jack spot for LSU. It dates back to when Jamar Cain was at North Dakota State, and then he played a part in Jackson Howard getting his first offer from Arizona State, putting him on the map. So the family is really comfortable with Jamar Cain. That has really been the thing that stood out the most. He's somebody that early on, when I talked to him in, I believe it was January, maybe a little bit before that, that I circled as, okay, that guy could be, somebody that ends up at LSU just because of his relationships with Jamar Cain. He had already visited LSU. He's seen the campus. He's seen the facilities. He was impressed. He was interested. And that only, improved when Jamar Cain and Brian Kelly took over at LSU. They are battling some interesting competition. You've got Miami in there, and they're doing a really good job recruiting. Michigan is a player for him without a doubt. And then, maybe you can't count out the Gophers up there in Minnesota to keep them at home. But I think LSU sits in a really, really good spot. Wouldn't shock me at all if he commits over the summer. And again, kind of nationally, that's the way it is with this defensive line group for the most part. There are some in-state guys like Tadarius Collins, Ashley Williams at Zachary that could end up getting offers from LSU. But this national recruiting at the defensive line position has really been impressive. LSU sits in a really good spot for a lot of these prospects. Just kind of scatter shooting Deshaun Womack, Xavier McLeod, Jordan Hall. They're going to shoot for the big fish as well that are out there, and some of these guys will take their recruitments out to the end, and LSU will try to hang around and see if they can land a couple difference makers late.
We talked to David Brewerton, Zachary's head coach, yesterday here, and Eli Holstein obviously dominated the conversation just with the latest news there. And his roster, you mentioned the defensive end, Ashley Williams, that's going into another season up there in Zachary. But their safety, Kylan Jackson, seems to be a star on the rise. Where is his recruitment at right now?
Yeah, Kylan Jackson is a star on the rise. On the field, he's a really, really good player. From what I've heard, and this goes for a lot of schools, he's got a couple things to clean up academically. Probably not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things, but you want to be sure, especially LSU sitting at 2 safeties right now. You take another one, they've got to be sure that he's good to go and everything like that, because there are good safeties out there still. Obviously in Louisiana, Derek Williams is a huge name that I think you take no matter what. And then they're also still in it, at least for Yonel Aguero out of Massachusetts, who's got some really good ties to the program. I think LSU still has a little bit of work to do there, but he's a big name, and they're also recruiting some other national guys as well. So Kylan Jackson, the player, is a guy you take every day of the week, and he's that good. And I've really been impressed with his film. And if things are all lined up and in order, LSU could very well win out. Seems like Texas A&M, some of those programs are also recruiting him as well.
The latest to get an offer from LSU is Jalen Braxton, a 4-star cornerback out of Frisco, Texas. All the Texas schools on him. A lot of the SEC starting to pay attention. Where's LSU at?
Just talked to Jalen late last night, and the story's going up on thebengaltiger.com here as soon as we get off the phone. But LSU's going to be a player in this one. Jalen Braxton cut his list to a top 8 just recently, and LSU offered. And they're right in the mix now. I mean, look, we'll see if they can, make up the ground. A lot of recruitniks will point to the dream school part of his tweet and immediately write him off. Any kid that calls it a dream school offer, you can kind of bet. I'd love to see the stats on it, but you can kind of bet that they might not actually end up at their dream school. But Jalen Braxton is a big time star on the rise. We have him as a borderline top 150 overall prospect. He clocked a 10.8 300-meter time this spring, and LSU is probably chasing Baylor here the most to get him. But this was a big offer. He told me he will fit in an LSU visit, and he will give the Tigers a chance to make up that ground. Michigan State, Penn State, and a couple others are maybe above the rest as well, battling with Baylor and LSU. But Jalen Braxton is a brand new offer, and they are firmly in the mix there to land him now.
Two from listeners, Billy, and we'll get you out of here. Appreciate your time here on this Thursday morning. Mason Spillman says, #Ask Billy. Delvin Lip Whitaker, the linebacker out of West Feliciana High School, has seen his recruitment start to pick up. Don't know if LSU's in the mix, but it seems like Florida State, Penn State seem to be in it. What have you heard about Lip Whitaker out of West Feliciana?
Haven't heard too much yet, but I will say Madhouse is evaluating some in-state prospects for offers. I know he was by Dutchtown as well, looking at a couple prospects there. So I think with camps, and I'll say this about linebacker, it is a really hard position to evaluate and get good talent. And this class is no different from the last couple cycles. We're seeing a lot of guys be that, want to play safety, but they should probably be linebackers, or guys want to rush the passer, but they're probably too skinny and they should probably play linebacker. A lot of prospects are kind of coming up and not maybe giving the credence to playing linebacker as much as they should, and it's making it a really hard position to evaluate. So LSU has Jaden Osbury. They're right in the mix for Whit Weeks, Wes Weeks' brother, and he's got an official visit scheduled this summer, and so LSU's got to be considered one of the favorites there. But they are going to have to evaluate some of these in-state prospects, and I think he's no different.
Bill, have a great rest of the week. Congratulations again, my friend, and we will be looking for the story going up here on the defensive back here shortly that you spoke with last night. Thank you again for your time.
Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
You got it. There he is, Billy Embody, checking in here on this Thursday, giving us the latest on what's going on with recruiting. Couple of questions there answered for you. Remember, over at Fresh Eats, you can get Fresh Chef Kitchen with freshchefeats.com. You can get your meals planned out for you every week, just like we have them over here at the Noodle. And we've talked to you about the convenience, right, where every Monday Shane and his staff come through here, drop off a week of supplies of breakfast and lunches for us and the crew, and can't tell you how convenient it is for us around the office, being able to grab and go, sit down at the desk, even during meetings, conference calls, have the food right there in front of us. But the peace of mind that it's all healthy, it's all fresh, it's all good for you during the day. Check out Fresh Chef Kitchen online, freshchefeats.com, freshchefeats.com. The chef over there, Shane, prepares meals for everyone every single day. You can pre-order your meals online at freshchefeats.com. You can stop in and see them at their storefront over on Airline Highway there, 14111 Airline Highway, 14111 Airline Highway, Fresh Chef Kitchen. You can find them online at freshchefeats.com. Huge day for our business, huge day for our company, as we are launching another property here with one of the most reputable, one of the most popular names in our state, around LSU, throughout football. He is recognized as a part of our community, a part of our state, and one of the best quarterbacks to ever come through LSU is launching a podcast today. It is our guy, Rohan Davey. Where My Dog's At will debut tonight, 6 o'clock, as Jameel, his social media director. Stewie is going to produce his first show. Lloyd will be the regular producer when he gets back from his trip. And we are really looking forward to this team and getting going. As you saw yesterday, Kevin Falk, All Eyes on 3, put out a promotion, put out a piece on his first guest. Rose's first guest is going to be Kevin Falk. And as we told you, Falk was on Rose's official visit to Baton Rouge as a high school senior in Dade County, Florida. So cool. Was shown around LSU and shown the ropes by Kevin Falk. They went on to win Super Bowls together. They went on to butt into great friends. So really looking forward to the first conversation that Roe's going to sit down on Where My Dog's At with one of his truest friends in Kevin Falk. We'll hear about that. We'll talk to Roe about the offseason, about the quarterbacks, about Eli Holstein, about all of that stuff coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show, and set the table for tonight at 6 o'clock where My Dog's At will debut. We'll talk to Rohan Davey next year on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU, bluewater.com.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you daily by Morales Roll-Offs. Morales Roll-Offs provides dumpster rentals for residential and commercial needs in Baton Rouge and surrounding areas. Morales has roll-off dumpsters ranging from 10 yards to 40 yards to accommodate all of your disposal needs. Search online, moralesrolloffs.com. The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Check out our crew online and get over to YouTube for Where My Dog's At coming up this afternoon. William Ivy says, hey, Jordy, you need to hire an editor. They spelled dogs incorrectly. No, they didn't. DAWGZ on Where My Dog's At, Billy. And we are excited to announce the newest project over here at FM Digital Media. It has been in the works for a while, and we are launching it tonight. Our guy, you know him so well. He is recognized as one of the faces around LSU football, one of the faces of our state when you think about the game, and is fastly becoming one of the 7-on-7 authorities in our state over at F3 Elite. He'll be talking about that and all more, man, with Where My Dog's At coming up tonight at 6 o'clock with Rohan Davey. Welcome into the show, baby. Yes. And congratulations on your personal news, buddy.
Yes.
Oh yeah. That's
I don't know. I know it was on social media, so I mean, I didn't know we could take it to the streets, but I mean, my man is off the market.
It's in the streets.
Yes, it is. Good for you, man. Congratulations.
That's
Bro's getting married. He's launching his podcast. He's got F3 Elite rolling. It is. It's all coming together right now for Ro. 6 o'clock tonight, bro. Here we go, man.
6 o'clock, dog. 6 o'clock. We ready. We're gonna do some little final runs and some final checks and balances, and we ready, dog. We ready. We gonna chill. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna eat some good shit and kick back and like you introduced it. You introduced it good though with Kev, because dude, I couldn't think of a better guest to come on, you know what I mean? Like, as far as like, dude, it's only like a couple people since I've been here, since I came here when I was 17 years old. I met Kev when I was 17. And
wow.
It's only Kevin and my barber, honestly, Pooler, that when I came here, those are the two people that's been knowing me the longest as far as like in my adult. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, when you leave, like I left Miami, right? We're gonna talk to some people from Lakes too. So
wow.
When I leave Miami, you coming here, you 16, 17, 18 years old. That's when you a kid.
Sure.
So Kev has not only seen it, dog, but he's helped me, like things that only he and I know throughout my life, like my entire life, like you know what I mean, like from 18 all the way to date.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Kev is truly a big brother to me. He's truly a big brother.
There are mile markers in everybody's life, I believe, that you can look back on. You can kind of remember where you were, the feeling of when you arrived to places. And Kevin Falk seems to have been the majority of the places that Rohan has landed in football, whether it be here at LSU, and then he was drafted by New England, where Kevin was already established and one of the leaders in that locker room, and Rohan was able to spend so much time with him and learning how to become a pro.
Yeah.
And Kevin means so much. So that's going to be great conversation in your debut show. Obviously, people will be coming to you to learn about what you know about football, but it's going to be a lot of storytelling too as well. I mean, it's not just going to be diving into the X's and O's every week of football. I mean, you're going to allow people to get to know you, and you got a great team around you as well.
Our team is dope. Jay Raw, Stu Raw, how Lizzo get down, and they going to get featured tonight too. We're going to introduce the squad, man.
Yeah.
We're going to let them know, because they got swagger, they got shoe game, they got everything going on with the movement that we trying to do. We trying to target everybody, and especially getting it right now, telling the stories that I think opens me up a little bit to people knowing me. Oh, and not just that, because my guests know, because we speak, they're truly people I know. So they're going to open up and talk about things that we've gone through. I don't know some of the things that they may share. I don't know.
Sure.
But it's all going to be transparent, and it's all going to be, I think, different wavelengths. You know what I mean? Some things are going to be some serious. Some things aren't. Some shit's going to be just downright hilarious.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And give you an insight into just some things of what we was thinking on some rock. Because I'll give you a perfect example. My godfather passed away. And so I was very close to his best friend. And when we had the Super Bowl in Jacksonville, to this day, the kid now, Austin, I think, is about 33 maybe. But I'll never forget when we were at the Super Bowl in Jacksonville, and they're from Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And they came over to see me, and we were leaving the ride over to the stadium. And I ain't had no pool at the time to get nobody on no bus or nothing like that.
Right.
And they came, and my godfather and his wife, and they had their son Austin. And Austin is like the biggest football fan still to date. He works for some banking company in California now that lends out money to entertainers, and one of his clients is actually Rihanna.
Wow.
Right. So it's like
we're trying to hang with Austin now.
You know what I'm saying?
Get Austin in here.
Right.
But it was just dope because they still talk about it.
Yeah.
And Kev was like, y'all leaving? Like they was walking away.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, man, what, y'all leaving? I was like, yeah. He was like, man, Rohan, tell that boy to come on with us and get on the
Wow.
bus.
That's
And
cool.
dude, the kid,
Wow.
Austin rode on the bus with us to go
Wow.
over to the stadium at the Super Bowl as a kid. And it wouldn't have happened if Kev wouldn't
Sure.
have got him on the bus.
Oh,
But dog,
amazing.
it's so many stories like that about him. Even when guys that don't know him, but he knows they're LSU affiliated and he's at the club or he's the big, at the time when
Sure.
we was going out and stuff, man, Kev would see 30 people in line and they affiliated with, they know somebody he's with or whatever, and everybody comes in. You know what I mean? It's just that type of person he is. And if you know him from his upbringing, his late mother, and his family, that's him.
Yeah, it is. He's
know what I
always
mean?
been.
That's him.
He's
bro.
always been like that, man. I mean, I can remember even when he got to LSU, he was bigger than life.
Yeah.
I mean, like he was Shaquille O'Neal. He was like on campus. He was the man, and he was so approachable. And I hate to talk to him like he's I mean, like he was just so approachable at the time when he was the superstar, and then like when he was a senior, he was almost untouchable. But he was still that guy. I mean, he was still where you could like walk up to him and. And now with everything, I mean, I believe Tom Brady called him his favorite teammate of all time. I mean, that will go down as one of the highest compliments in sports.
Yeah.
All right, so where are my dogs at tonight, 6 o'clock? Can't wait for it. Roe, quarterback recruiting is picking up right now. Everybody's talking about Arch. Eli Holstein committed earlier this week. Your guy Ricky
Alabama.
Collins is shooting up the charts.
Yeah.
It seems like LSU's really kind of fallen in love with him, I believe.
Well, I know that the new regime and especially the new OC, I've had conversations with him,
Mike Denbrock.
and I know those guys are really high on him based on his athleticism. Man, I mean, Ricky's a tough kid, man.
Yeah.
He's a tough kid, an intelligent kid, very athletic. We've had calls as far as when I say we, I mean myself and Ken Anio with F3 about Ricky from Florida State, just to mention one of them, and a couple SEC schools that are very high on him. I think it's just going to take him figuring out. I don't know if the Purdue thing is going to be something that sticks. I know they're definitely still in the mix, but I think for him, it's just going to take him really dissecting and getting down to which one of these schools and which one of these staff are legitimately in place, and it's not just going to be a carousel of coaches or him going to one of these universities and being viewed or looked at as the savior, and now that pressure is on him.
How important is the camp circuit to quarterbacks? Like this summer for guys like Ricky going onto campuses and working out, how important is that in recruiting still, or is it?
I think for him, guys like Holstein, Art, all these big name guys, I think going into their senior year, the camp thing should be for them. It should not be for the schools that's recruiting them or inviting them out there. I think it should be for them to say, okay, I'm interested in LSU, I'm interested in Florida State, I'm interested in these schools, and really have an idea. And then, so now you can narrow it down and then now go to those camps. You can now go to those camps. Work with those guys, those coaches that you're going to be. Work with the coaches that are recruiting you and get a chance to see them. And recruiting for these guys when you're at that level. And I'm sure Art is the same way because of his, his family and everything like that. But the recruiting going into your senior year when you're that big of a recruit, it's you recruiting them, so to speak, and finding out more about them, more about who the coaches are, how everything is ran, how are they when they're coaching me in these camps. And so you go to these camps that you're really interested in going to the university, like
Sure.
for Art, go to Texas, go to Alabama, and see how these coaches are, see how the building is. Do those things during the camp and before you even take your official visit.
Yeah. From a recruiting standpoint, or at least a quarterbacking standpoint, the summer going into your senior season, this is usually where you can make a jump, right? I mean, like we've seen Eli Holstein kind of make this jump. What do you make of Holstein? I know that you've seen him, you've coached against him, you've coached him. What do you make of his game?
I think he's a talented kid. I think that the maturation of his game has to go where he goes to the next progression. He's a give me the progression. And if the next guy's not there, I could go through 1-2, but when I get to this backside, his feet get happy sometimes. And that's what I've seen in the playoff games with him over the couple of years, even when they have won the state championship. But I think he's a super talented kid. I think he's in the mold of kind of what you need in today's football, because he does have some movement. I don't agree with the dual threat title that they've thrown on him. I think he's a pocket passer that has the ability to get out the pocket and move. When you think of dual threat quarterbacks, in my opinion, and I think of guys like a Lamar Jackson, guys like that, that's what, and I know he's not to that level where as far as the speed, but when I think of him, but he's what you can take to win a championship, especially with the schools that he will be going to. He's definitely can win you a championship because he has the arm talent. He has the arm talent to throw it anywhere on the field. And he has the moxie. He's shown the moxie to get out of trouble. He's shown the toughness to run the football and to put his head down and go get those tough yardage. I think that he just has to get, in my opinion, I think Eli has to get to where he's made the maturation and jump to where now he's affecting everyone around him. Not just the offense, but you're affecting the defense. And in order for you to do that, it's maturity and your mentality in him has to change. It has to now go from a I to a we.
Yeah. Ro, your perspective, and I'd imagine that you're probably going to talk about this tonight, so I don't want to steal all your shine, but I got to get at least something on the record of what you thought about 1 week ago today when Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban were going at each other in the public. I mean, Katie and I told the story about you walking into the office. Like, as Jimbo is walking off the podium, Rohan is walking in the office, and Katie and I are like, and he's like, what happened? We're like, did you see the Jimbo press conference? And you were like, I called Jimbo this morning. No, I didn't see any press conference. We rewound it, and Rohan is like, oh, my God. And as he's watching this, Jimbo calls him. So, I mean, just to give the idea of how close you all are as just friends. When you saw that, when you heard that, what did you? I know Katie and I saw it real time, but I mean,
and you were like, "This is right now.
This is
last night.
Is unbelievable." What do you make of that?
The first thing that came to my mind was, who slipped Coach Saban something?
Yeah,
like somebody slipped that little man something, dog.
Yeah, you never seen him slip like that.
No, dog, no. And then honestly, and I know, everybody know Jimbo is my guy, but I pull no punches. I'll tell you the real. Either way, he wrong, they wrong. I don't give a damn. You know what I mean? But dude, I've seen them two get into it. I've seen Coach Saban get into it with coaches, players, right? But we talking about coaches. And I've seen a bunch of them back the hell down. No smoke.
Right, and a lot of them on the defensive side, right? Because
they're
replaceable.
Correct.
Jimbo's not replaceable
at all.
Yeah.
And dude, I've seen them get into it, and Jimbo steps forward every time.
I love it.
Right.
And so when I saw that, my first reaction was like, why'd you come at him? You know he not about to
back down.
Back down. He ain't about to pull no punches. You about to piss him off.
Right. And
y'all are friends. Y'all was good. You know what I mean? Like, whatever dirt you know. Whatever dirt you know. Right. So it's like, dude, don't let, because you're at a Alabama boosters
event
and a wallet giving, and you out there asking for money because A&M got the bags on top of bags on top of bags, and whether you're trying to send a message to your boosters or you're trying to know that when you say something is going to get, because you had to know that when you said that it was going to create a doggone shit show. Mm-hmm. And it's exactly what it did. So my thing with it was, too, I was like, dog, I know this man for a number of years, playing for him and personally. And there's nothing that he does that's not calculated.
Absolutely.
There's nothing
especially
that
when
he
he's
does.
speaking publicly.
That's what I'm saying, dog. Like, you went after Jimbo, then you brought up Dion, And, now you're trying to backpedal and backtrack. And I don't understand it. I still think he's very much aware of what he did, of what was going to happen. Whatever his mission was, whether it was the boosters, whether it was to drum up more attention for their series or their rivalry or get him fired up going into the season so he has something to work towards because he's won so much. And, I don't know if it's the Michael Jordan effect where I'm going to just tell you they talking trash about you just to get myself pumped up. Like, I don't know what that little man's motive is, honestly, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think all of those are on the table. But I know he did. He bit off a lot by dealing with Jimbo.
Definitely.
And Deion.
For somebody like you who played for him, is it a crack? Is it the first crack we've ever seen in him? Because I'm with you. I believe it's calculated, but I think he overstepped this time.
Yeah, I definitely think he overstepped, and I would definitely love to sit down or see him sit down with somebody and just to understand what the motive was and have a real honest opinion, whether it was a ploy, say it, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because for him to come at somebody, I don't know Deion, but I know Jimbo, so I know Jimbo's mentality. I know his fight. I know how he and Coach Saban know that.
Yeah,
Coach Saban know that. He knew that Jimbo wasn't gonna sit back and chill and be like, "Oh, that's just Nick." You know what I mean? He knew he wasn't gonna do that. So I don't know, Jay. Like he definitely overstepped, and it put him in some. And this is the other thing too, man. Like, that's recruiting. You know what I mean? Like, this is also recruiting. I think Jimbo just went up on people's notches just by how he went to bat for the parents, went to bat for the kids, showed that, hey, when you make a commitment here to Texas A&M, ain't nobody going to talk trash about you, ain't nobody going to put y'all down. I'm still letting you know that you come into a reputable program. Everything that we did was, like, that's the thing. And that's the other thing. I don't know if he and then he also got his behind whooped by him last year. Like he took a couple of your top recruits that you wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's all that he butthurt.
Yeah, I agree. And I thought that it was a big win for Jimbo in the sense of very rarely do you publicly get to back your team. That doesn't seem like it's manufactured. Right. Like it was a moment that he could step up and say, you know what? I'm about to be beloved in this locker room. You know what I mean? He probably walks in there after that and people are like, okay, he's got our back.
Dude, that's you saw how I was when we was watching it. I'm like, just by him standing up there and taking up for his players. That's all, man. When you that age, all you want to know is
you got my back.
Yeah, and then not only that, the parents want to know that they sending their kids away to somewhere where it's not just the gloss of, I signed a $75 million contract and I'm this Jimbo Fisher or I'm this Nick Saban or this. You want to see the real person, the real individual that you sending your kids to. And so they see that, and they see the emotion that comes out of that, and they see that, like you said, how it's organic. And parents want to send their kids to be around that.
Where my dogs at? 6 o'clock tonight. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you do that. We will put the link inside of our chat. Jamil, if you want to do that so we can keep pushing this YouTube and make sure that people are there. Let's get the subscriptions up. Make sure you're on Instagram. Make sure you're on Twitter.
Hey, I got something to say. Hold on.
Yep.
Hey, the first one, I was trying to think of a way to get my name, get it up. Look, the first 100, what is it, subscribers? I got a
picture.
Autograph, Rohan, Davey, New England Patriots on the field. What is it, 8x10? 8x10 for the first 100.
Got it. Bam. Starting right now. So time this. Jamil, if we can, let's timestamp this thing.
Let go.
Right now here at 8:45 here on Thursday morning. The next 100 that subscribe get a giveaway picture. If you subscribe, how can we? I want to make sure that we do this right. Yeah, once you subscribe, shoot your email to Katie.
Yeah.
Sorry. Katie at fm.co. Katie at fm.co is the email. That is KATIE at EFFEMM 2 E's, 2 F's, 2 M's, EFFEMM.co. C-O.
You can also send it to Katie at JordyCulottaShow.com if that's
Nice.
easier for y'all
Yes,
to
yes,
remember.
yes, yes.
I mean,
All right, so where are my dogs at? 6 o'clock tonight. Go follow him on YouTube right now. Looking forward to the conversation
go.
between him and Kevin Falk tonight. We will come back, talk F1 for the first time here on
Yeah.
the Jordy Culotta Show, and close it out, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's T-R-U, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. T-R-U, bluewater.com. Do you have questions about your finances? Are you looking for recommendations from a skilled financial advisor? Get in touch with our friend Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones. You can find him easily by logging online and shooting him an email at daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. That is daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Whether it is help with your 401k or just fiscal advice heading into the new season, get in touch with Daniel today. Best way to do it? Email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. He's our experienced financial advisor. Let him be yours, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. As we said, make sure you are subscribing to Where My Dog's At. The email for Katie is already starting to blow up with the inbox here.
Thank you.
We will tell you how you can pick up your pictures tomorrow on the Jordy Culotta Show. First 100 emails she gets, we're going to go back, confirm that you subscribe to the page, and once you've done that, we'll have your picture, signed Rohan pick from the New England Patriots for you inside of your inbox. All right, so from one exciting announcement to another over here at FM Digital Media. We told you about Where My Dog's At, another property launching for us, another established property out there that if you are into F1 racing that you really need to be paying attention to is called Podium Proof F1. This is the name of the podcast, and our guys, Frank Alessi and his brother David, have put together a very passionate podcast about F1. These two are very dialed in. They got really good personalities and giving that information to us. And look, they reached out to us, and we've kind of been going back and forth. A couple of meetings later, they're going to be under the FM Digital Media umbrella. We're going to help them promote it every week. They'll be in here talking a little F1. We were really interested and intrigued by it because of the Netflix series that has really brought popularity to almost mainstream sports. I mean, it's not down here in the SEC country as many would think. I know that there was a big race in Miami a couple of weeks back, but people are starting to talk about F1, if nothing else. People are starting to kind of get the buzz about F1, and here to help us out with that is Frank, and I believe we have David Alessi. Do we have him yet? No? Okay.
He's coming.
But he'll be here shortly from South Carolina. And that's another part of that's so impressive about this podcast is that they've done it remotely away from one another, as David is up in South Carolina working and has his...
Virginia.
Virginia, where he's got his family and his career. And then, of course, Frank is down here in South Louisiana and... has a job, 9 to 5 that he's very successful at, and is doing this podcast as well. So we are really looking forward to this partnership and this announcement. And welcome aboard. Frank is in studio. He's got his wife with him, Leah, who is a former teacher now chasing her dream. Over at Alapoxy, made us a couple of
look at these coasters.
Made us some coasters for the studio with the logo in it.
And my Mississippi State cutting board.
She's got her stuff on Facebook. We will be telling you how to get that stuff as well throughout this. But Frank, good morning, buddy. Good to see you.
Good morning. What's going on?
It is. It's good to see you back in studio, man. I know we've met a couple of times. We've talked about the podcast. We've listened to the podcast. It's very cool that you were passionate about F1, and we're really looking forward to this partnership, man, as we go in together here and start to bring this to the masses.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, man. It's something that, me and my brother, we've been fans of F1 for pretty much our whole lives. But it was kind of always that thing where, like a big LSU football game, you go to work on that Monday, all you do is talk about it all day with all your boys, right? F1... I have nothing but excitement, ready to talk about everything that happened, and it's like, hey, you watch F1? No.
Right.
For most of my life.
Right.
Now,
just give me the TPS reports, why don't you, Frank?
Right. And it's like, now I'm so pumped that it's finally starting to take hold here in the States.
Yeah.
After a lot of effort from F1.
Do you credit the Netflix series more than anything,
or
what has been the big push?
It's been a joint thing, right? Netflix was a strategic thing by F1. Probably 5 years ago, I guess now, they made a serious financial commitment to grow the United States market. So Netflix was a huge part of that, and really the first part of that. We've had a Grand Prix here for off and on throughout the history of F1. It's been in Austin for, I guess, about the last 10, 12 years. Yeah, about 10 years. And it's, it's really taken off. It's been a great event. But now, this year they added Miami. Next year they're adding Las Vegas and really trying to glitz and glam it up.
Yeah, I saw in Miami, I think the picture that everybody is recognizing is Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, and was it Leonard who was the driver that was with them? There was somebody else.
Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton
was with them.
was in that, and David Beckham was in that picture.
Yep.
So you
brought
saw
out
the
big
star
guns.
power, all the big
yeah.
guns that they were bringing out to F1 in Miami. Obviously, that brought a lot of kind of fringe or mainstream sports fans just to kind of say, hey, what are they doing? Where are they at? And to see them at an F1 race was interesting. What is you can sense the push of the industry trying to bring the celebrities and the most notable people to the track.
Oh, David.
Yeah, and that's been something that's kind of been synonymous with F1 throughout its history. Just European, right?
Yeah.
With the exception of the race we have coming up this weekend, which is Monaco, which you get celebrity-wise, they all do it. All that, the A of the A list is always at Monaco. That's the crown jewel of, I guess, status, right?
Sure.
So that's kind of been that seems like the thing that I guess Miami and Las Vegas are chasing. The Austin race is kind of more of like a classic F1 track setting, and Miami and Vegas is the glitz, the glam. I mean, they're going to be doing 200 miles an hour out in front of the water cannons in front of Bellagio.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
How fun.
It's awesome. I mean, that track they built in Miami was awesome.
It was cool, man. I was a little skeptical about it just because, it's in a parking lot essentially.
Sure.
But it played really well. It looked good. Especially first time around. I'm sure there'll be some tweaks that they hit, in the next couple years. But I was pretty pumped about it. It played really well.
Yeah.
So Frank has a co-host, and it's his brother. And this is a passion that started at home for them when they were kids because of their old man's love and obsession for F1, and they're kind of carrying it on. And we bring in David into the conversation here on this Thursday morning. The other part of this intro to the podium proof for F1. How are you, David? Good morning.
Morning, Jordy. How you doing?
Doing good, man.
We only see you in your truck
Good.
ever.
Yeah. He's got to sneak out of the office. Yeah. Hey, I'll be right back. I got to go grab something out of the truck.
Yeah, pretty much. I spend most of my day driving around in it. So
right. So Dave, so we talked a little bit about the podcast and the push, and you guys are going to be coming on here. We'll be promoting it every week. But as for like kind of the nuts and bolts of F1, I mean, this is a championship season that's coming down to Ferrari and Red Bull again, and I know that that the Alessis are Team Ferrari, right?
Yes, sir. Tifosi all the way. So, yeah, I mean this season's really looking like it's going to come down to the last race yet again. Mercedes has kind of started off this season on the back foot after their 7 years of doubts with the prior regulations. But after Barcelona last weekend, they seem to have turned a page, and we might see 3 cars in the hunt come the end of the season.
All of this will be being discussed on the Podium Proof F1 podcast that will be debuting. It's not debuting. It's already out there. You can find it anywhere that you podcast. They have a YouTube station as well. We will start promoting it every week right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Frank, I know there's a little bit of controversy in F1 right now, too, coming down the stretch.
Yeah, it could get really interesting. It's, Aston Martin turned up. It's a new set of regulations, so these guys are constantly upgrading their cars every race. You're seeing new stuff put on the cars, and Aston Martin turns up, and their car looks identical to the Red Bull in a lot of the important aero areas, which that's everything in F1, right? Your intellectual property, what you design, it makes everything. So them doing that and stealing that, or I say stealing, right? Nothing's proven yet, but they don't have the best track record. 3 years ago, they turn up and their car is a carbon copy of the Mercedes, but nobody could prove anything.
Right.
So the whole thing is what they're probably doing is reverse engineering it through all the different camera angles that they get on TV with scaling technology and all. But, Red Bull's launching an investigation. And if they find one thing that was downloaded onto a thumb drive that they don't approve of, it's going to be on. It's going to get interesting.
Wow.
F1 drama.
Look,
I like it.
Oh, it's full of it because there's so much money at stake.
Sure.
Right? I mean, one place difference is you know,
Millions.
means millions and millions
Sure.
of dollars at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they take no prisoners. You know?
David, take me back to the grassroots. Where did this start? Why the love for F1 from you and Frank?
Man, it really started like you had mentioned earlier. Our dad was a fan of it from as far back as I can remember. And, you know, growing up, being surrounded by the racing, he kind of just brought us up in it. So it's really been from day one, you know, mid-90s, waking up at the crack of dawn to watch the F1 race with Dad. We were fortunate enough to hit two of them, actually, in Canada, Montreal GP, and Indianapolis. So it's really just been a family thing that we've had since the beginning. And the love and the passion has grown over all those years.
Are you starting to see it pick up? Have you seen it like in your friend group, or at least through this podcasting, start to see the buzz for the sport start to pick up?
Yeah, I would say so. I think really over the last year and a half, it's really started to explode here in the States at an incredible rate. You know, I mean, as far as internationally, it's the number 2 sport behind soccer. You know, everybody knows F1. You know, F1 drivers are the guys that can't go anywhere, you know, without just getting mobbed. And it's just never had, for whatever reason, it's never grabbed on in the States like it has until, I mean, I think it's 100% this Netflix deal where you really got so much insight to these guys. You feel like you know them now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get the behind the scenes. You see the inner workings of it, what really goes on.
Yeah, and their relationships with each other.
Right,
good
right,
and bad.
exactly. And, you know, and most of these guys, they kind of came up together, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the different pockets of age groups of them. But now, I mean, you've got probably 5 to 6 of the really top up-and-coming young drivers that are all grew up racing against each other. They're all about the same age, and they're all in top teams. They're not in back marker teams trying to fight their way forward anymore. And so, I mean, we're really about to embark on some glory years of F1, in my opinion. With all these guys, how well they know each other and how hard they go at each other. It's going to be awesome.
All right, tell our listeners, when do they expect the podcast weekly? When do we publish? When do we promote?
So we record every Monday following the race. It'll be out Wednesday at 11 o'clock following the race. And we're actually going to start on, because the Formula One schedule is not every weekend. Sometimes it's back-to-back. Sometimes it goes every other week. So those off weeks, we'll have a preview podcast coming out to lead up to that next race.
David, how's the season run? Like in conjoining to like football season or baseball season, how does this season work?
So we get started. I mean, it's a long season. This year was slated to be a record-breaking season with 23 races. We've lost one. We lost the Russian GP, and they've actually opted to not replace it. So we've got 22 races from March through November. You know, they've got some breaks here and there. They'll hit some races hard back to back, 3 weeks in a row. Sometimes it'll be, you know, 2 weeks in between. And then they hit a summer break for about 3 weeks, and then it's back on it hard.
Podium Proof F1 podcast. It'll be we will be talking about it every week here on the Jordy Culotta Show. It'll be a part of FM Digital Media's promotion where we'll be pushing it out from our properties. You can start to see what's going on there. The YouTube channel is up right now at Podium Proof F1. You can go subscribe over there. Their social media is up and moving, so make sure you follow them there. And then, of course, your wife.
Yeah, tell
Leah,
us about
who
alopecia real
got the
quick.
epoxy. David, thank you, buddy. I know you got to get back to the boardroom. Sorry we shuffled you out of there. We're looking forward to listening to the podcast, and can't wait to get everybody subscribed. And we'll be looking for you every week here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Thank you, bro.
Sounds great. Thank you, Jordy.
Absolutely, absolutely. Stewie,
right,
real
Leah,
quick,
tell
hang
us
on,
about
real quick. Is that microphone hooked up in front of Leah? where she can hear? Okay, just real quick.
It is.
So Leah, just real quick. I'm sorry to do this on the fly. It's all good. Don't be nervous.
Not nervous at
Just
all.
grab that microphone by the base. Yep. Pick it up and like kind of put it in front of you, because
Okay.
you know what I mean. There you go. There you go. Sorry about that. Sorry
right.
about that. Sorry about
Good?
that. We're good. All right. So. As Frank said, you were the most talented one in the family, and he was. As we were talking about obviously the F1 podcast and everything, and then he was like, "Hey, my wife has kind of got some stuff going on as well with some epoxy stuff," and you brought in the coasters this morning, which is really cool, and we thank you for.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
That is that South Louisiana.
Yeah, show that off.
You can hear that South Louisiana twang from down in Cutoff.
Yes. This one, yeah.
She got it from down in the bayou, baby.
Yes, Cutoff.
So tell us about what you got going on.
Okay, I started a little business called Epoxy. It's resin epoxy trays, coasters, cheese boards, platters. I just started actually divvying with flower preservation for like bridal bouquets, funeral
Oh, I love
flowers,
that.
that kind of stuff. So that's really taken off really fast this within the last few months. So yeah, it's exciting.
So
Where can they find you?
you're on Facebook
So
right now.
I'm only on Facebook and Instagram. That's my platforms that I've been using. But now that I am fully doing this, I'm
Wow.
going to do website and that kind of stuff. I do shows. I've only done a few shows, but I'm hoping to do more.
So
more
like
out there.
farmers markets,
Yes,
stuff like that.
I did a few here in Baton Rouge for Christmas, and I've done a few down the bayou.
Have you done the Mid-City Makers Market?
No, but I am a member.
Oh,
So
good.
I'm hoping to start doing
Yeah.
those soon.
Yeah.
This was a side hustle for a while, or at least a hobby that you
2
have now
years.
turned into. It was a dream that you're now turning into reality. Tell us how you got from the classroom to the cutting room.
Okay, so, we have 2 kids, and so life teaching all day and pouring at night was just becoming a little stressful and wanting to spend more time with my family. And so my husband was like, you need to do this full time. And I was like, okay, I will do this full time,
Perfect.
So I'm excited. It's taken off really well. I haven't really stopped. It's just been constant, flow
Sure.
of products. And so hoping now that I'm off that I can start doing bigger things, tables. And
Oh, really?
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
Tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Okay, so I am on
handle.
Facebook and Instagram at Alepoxy Designs. And
ALEPOXY.
ALEPOXY, yes ma'am.
ALEPOXY. Cody Boudreaux with a $5 super jet. Cutoff. Thibodeau here, represent the Bayou, baby. And then he says, man, she really sounds like she's from the Bayou.
No way!
I don't think that.
I don't think you do
I
either.
really don't.
A little bit has.
Yeah, it's faded over- it's faded over the years.
But I went down the bayou last week and I was like, yo.
Fall right
all
back
right.
into it.
It came
Fall
out.
right back
you know?
into it. Yep. Pass the salt, bruh. All right, have a great day. Thank y'all for
Thanks, y'all
stopping by.
too.
Looking forward to the podcast, bro. F1 Intro to the Podium. Make sure you find them. Get over to them. Alepoxy. You can find them on Facebook, on social media. You'll be hearing more from these companies over here at FM Digital Media. Stay tuned. Thank you for your interaction today. Like, share, comment. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Huge day at FM. Make sure you're ready for Rose Show. Easiest way to find them on YouTube is go to Instagram. Search Where My Dog's At. There's a link tree right there that has Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all able for you to join right there. That's the easiest way to do it. Jamil will be flooding you through social media over the next 10 hours on how you can get involved with Where My Dog's At. So have a great day, everybody over here. Go Chevrolet driving us. Have a good Thursday. We're back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Look, Mikey Minnihill says I'm going right now and buying something.